Right. Good evening. Good night. I mean to say good evening. Good night sounds like I'm going to bed. Good evening, even though it's not evening. Welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. We are going to finish up our roster. We got a couple cleanup things to do, a couple players whose data we need to correct. And then we're going to play game one of the inaugural season of Team NSFW, the all time not safe for work names from across baseball history. So, I think Ezra's about to raid in, so I'm wondering if I should just wait. Seems like that might be the thing to do. But, um, oh, hey, here's Ezra. Great timing. Hey, Ezra. Welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Welcome back. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. I won't ask you how your stream went because I watched most of the end of it. Looked like a lot of fun. I am looking forward to watching some tape to tape when you get back. This stream is safe for work. It's just some of the names of the players might not be. So, um, and I've been very impressed. Not that I doubted the chat or the community, but that during the roster reveals for this team, everyone was super funny while still basically keeping it clean. It was great. The Giants, yeah, Ezra, your Giants did win despite your best efforts. I also like that you kept jinxing them. Every time I thought the game was gonna be over, you would say that, and then the other team would get a hit. So I did remember one pitcher from my I won't say childhood, but from my teens that somehow I forgot to add. So we're gonna add him manually right before we start the season. But it's a left-handed pitcher. Hold on, let me get the. I gotta get the slides on here. It is left-handed pitcher Steve Sharts. I thought that maybe he was more famous than I thought. Uh, I actually didn't find a lot of stuff on him online. Then I realized he pitched in the minors in Pennsylvania, in Reading and Wilkes-Barre, which are not too far from where I grew up in New Jersey. And so I think what the case was, like, we had learned about him. This was pre-internet. Uh, G-Lux says, "Someone give this guy a sandwich." um, as for nothing worse than Reading Sharks. So I think we had just heard of him, just because he's like somewhat local slash regional. Have you guys heard of Steve Sharts? I mean, since then, of course, there's been the internet, so I'm sure his legend has grown. But um, yeah, so I'd completely forgotten about him. Something that happened today reminded me of him, and I thought he must be on the list, and he was not. So I went ahead and added him, or I added him to the roster, but we will add him in the game, and it'll be a good chance to show how to use that single player import function. And then, in honor of the Stanley Cup playoffs just ending yesterday, um, I want to start adding personnel to our sim, our franchise save. So I wanted to introduce our senior NHL correspondent, covering all things National Hockey League for us. Former former goaltender Ron Tugnut. Of course, definitely um, deserves a spot on our broadcast team. So, someone just said something in chat, and I thought I hit allow, but it seems to have disappeared. Anyway, whoever said that, I did not mean to deny the filter request. I thought I had approved it, allowed it, but anyway. Yes, the Tugger. Yeah, yeah, DK, sure. Please do. I apologize if I'm trying to allow everything as long as it's not. Oh, maybe I should not have allowed it. Yeah, let's not go there, D King. I think Max asking if he starts brawls for the team. I don't know if it would start a brawl or maybe start something else if you did that to somebody. He will be of course now that the Stanley Cup playoffs are over, he'll take some time off. Um, but yeah, he will be our senior NHL correspondent, and we'll have other roles like that going forward, including you know what I didn't make a slide for him, and I meant to. Our bullpen cart driver is former NASCAR driver Dick Trickle, and I did not make him a slide. But we have a whole season for that, so he is going to be our bullpen cart driver slash senior NASCAR correspondent. But I will make a worthy page for him too. All right, so let me put this up for a second while I get the game ready. I've actually already opened it, so let me just make sure I didn't do anything I have to undo before we jump in. Or you guys can. I don't think there's anything here you guys can't watch. So I just opened that save from last time. So we actually did import the players last time, but we ran into an issue, an expected issue with a couple of the Negro League players. Um, but I was earlier today. I was testing the single player import, and I know I brought in. Hold on, I gotta find him and delete him real quick. Oh, maybe I already deleted him. Okay, well, if anything, we'll just end up with two copies. And what I wanted to do was show how to do the single player import of Steve Sharts. So earlier I had found his player ID, but you know what? Just to show you it's legit, let me just go ahead and show you his BREF. Al Katz Gaming, you found a name that would be good. Boob Fowler. Let me show. Would that be this shortstop, Boob Fowler? He already is on the roster, but I do appreciate the effort. And as always, please feel free to keep bringing up names. Um, nice, thank you. And since I only stream late at night, 10:30 p.m. Pacific, most nights, feel free to join my Discord, and you can always submit names there. For example, I won't do the reveal yet, but D Block has given me a great winter sports senior correspondent who I'll be introducing in a future episode. And that one's courtesy of D Block. So let me go ahead and let me get a link to my Discord here. I know if you have too many Discords, it's fine. You don't have to join. But if if you want to submit suggestions for names like Elcats Gaming just did, since I'm not on all the time. I mean, I'm on almost every night, but I'm only on late at night. You can always jump on the Discord and suggest names, or Sims. If you want to suggest Sims, I'm always looking for good ideas there too. But oh yeah, I was going to show on BREF. I always like to use BREF to show that these things are actually legit. So here's Steve Sharts. Again, it's been a long time. I mean, he pitched in the late '80s. My recollection is um, our high school baseball team. No, no, at the time I would have been, well, I might have been on the high school team by then. We found out about this guy's name and thought it was amazing. And it was pre-internet, so it makes sense that I found out here's his minor league record. Turns out he was playing in Pennsylvania in the late '80s, so that's probably why we would have heard of him. So Reading, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, while they're not close, like we used to sometimes go to Wilkes-Barre to go play paintball in the woods. They had like those paintball places you could go. They'd set up like capture the flag for you and stuff. So it wasn't. It's not like we couldn't get there. So yeah, it was easy driving range to Steve Shart's. And so we're gonna actually I put it I put it in the roster text file, but we don't have to use that text. So let's just grab from the URL. Now, because he only played in the minors, you'll see the format's different. It's not the 5 letters of the last name, 2 letters of the first name, 01. In this case, it's 5 letters of the last name. The whole last name, Sharts, and then 001, and then first 3 of the first name, STE. My understanding is that's an easy sign that this player never made it to the majors and only has a minor league ID. So I copy that. We're going to go back into the game. And as with all the imports or player creations, we go to the free agent screen. Oh no, I know what I did. I tested out earlier and he's in the free agent pool. So I'm just going to delete him real quick. There he is. That's Steve Scherzer. I imported him. So we're just going to delete him real quick. And we'll just re-import him. Okay. The reason we're going to re-import him, I just kind of wanted to show how easy it is to import a player, but also show why you use that text file, because we'd have to do this 60 some times to import the whole roster. Okay, we're going to copy and paste his player ID here, or you could just type it in. And we're going to take his 1988 season stats. Now we have to check this, include player in minor league database, because he is in the minor leagues. And this is that click here that we used before to do the text file, but we're just going to do one player this time. Now, on this one, you notice it doesn't give you the option of adding the 3-letter abbreviation for the destination. That's another benefit of the text file, is we could just put him right onto the roster we want to. Because we're not specifying that, because we can't, it's going to go right into the free agent pool. And then the good thing is I get to show you an editor, instead of having to sign him or trying to claim him and maybe not get him. We don't want to let Steve Sharts get away. I'll show you how you can just instantly add him to your team. So we'll do the import. Can't let Steve Sharts slip through the cracks. Got to make sure you grab him. Got to get him on our team. I see all this thinking he's doing. This is for one player. It's around the same time it takes for the whole list. So it's a big time saver using that list. Okay, we got one player imported. So now we have to find him. Luckily, we had just scrolled to him, so he's here. So he's in the free agent pool. We'd have to sign him. Right? If you haven't done that in the base game, one of the things you can do is you can offer him a contract. But there's nothing that says he'll sign with you. It also takes time. So we're in commissioner mode anyway, so we can go into editor. And then right here, you said team information, select new team. Well, he's not in a league right now, so you select Major League Baseball because that's where our team is. And then right now he's a free agent. We're just going to assign him to our franchise time machine NSFW names team. And you see he's already his the logo's changed, so he's now on our team. Perfect. Okay, and then the other thing we need to fix is if we go to our roster, um, the Null Network podcast. Yo, what would be the opposite of this team? The ultimate safe for works. Okay, so I've actually been thinking about this, Nolan, and it's not that it's a safe for works team, but I was thinking, what would the team that my kids would maybe be interested in? I thought it would be the silliest names in baseball. So it's not that they're especially clean, but it's just that they're silly, but they're not necessarily dirty. So I don't know if that counts as opposite, but that's what I've been thinking about. So I know in one of the recent releases, Spore had a player named Riddleberger, and I think my kids would think that's a funny name. And so I was thinking like a silly names team would be the opposite of this, but not really the opposite, if you know what I mean. All timer Boof Bonser, huh? Would that be this Boof Bonser? Player number 26 on our roster? Oh, he's got a real photo too. Sweet. I think how funny anyone I think how funny anyone thinks Boof Bonser is as a name depends on to what extent and what definition they know for boofing. Because if I think if you don't know the definition, you think, oh, Boof Bonser should be on that silly names team. But if you do know or you know how to use Urban Dictionary, then you think, oh yeah, that's an NSFW team. Okay, so we need to get for two oh, so let's just make sure Steve Sharts is in here now. Yep, there he is. Relief pitcher, left-handed pitcher, Steve Sharts. Yet another reason I was disappointed in myself that I had forgotten about Steve is that he's a left-handed pitcher. And in these kinds of um, assembled teams, left-handed pitchers are, along with catchers and second basemen, the hardest things to find. So, all right, Nolan says we love us some Boof. Okay, so I think the two batters we need to correct their profiles on are Heavy Johnson and Spotswood Poles. And for that, I'm going to go back to, I need to make sure I grab the right year for them. So if we go back to this file, so for Heavy Johnson, it's 1922. My little piece of scrap paper is getting overwhelmed here. I might need a new piece soon. Okay, Heavy. By the way, Heavy Johnson is a player I kind of forget because he's in the game and he's such a good card, and I grab him all the time in daily drafts and stuff. That I think I forget how funny the name Heavy Johnson is if you're not familiar with the player. And I mentioned it to someone the other day, and they were like, "What? That's the person's name?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I forget that that's the case." So Heavy Johnson's 1922, and Spotswood Poles is 23. Now I am going to do a quick thing here. If I can grab them both from the same year, it'll simplify things. So let me pull up their BREF stats and see if that's an option. Because then we only have to create one 1922 or 1923 sim, and we can grab screenshots from both, and then we can be done with it. So, um, Heavy Johnson, let's see what his 22 and 23 look like. Okay, I think we want to capture both of those years because he's so good in those. So I'd like to stick with 22. The problem will be is Spotswood's polls even available in 22? Yeah, this says 23. Okay, well, we'll just have to create a second sim to get both years. They're both worth it though, so we'll go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna save this now that we added Steve Sharts. I think if he had been pitching in the internet or especially smartphone meme era, Steve Sharts would be a fan favorite, like a cult favorite. I think teams wouldn't be able to cut him, so he'd be floating around somewhere still playing. But yeah, instead, I think people probably, hopefully, are discovering him retrospectively. Okay, so now that it's saved, we're going to create a new game. And I have a bunch of these like STEM seasons where I create a season just so we can grab some data from it. And eventually we have enough that I won't have to create them. I can just go to saves. But I don't think I've done 22 or 23 yet. So, okay, they're both in rebirth era. 22. Actually, you know what? We can uncheck complete history because we're just grabbing data from this season. We do need to import real Negro Leagues because that's what we're looking for here is Negro League data. And I really am hoping with the okay, so we're gonna call this any 1922. But I do hope that when the next OTB comes out, since it will be post this declaration by Major League Baseball that Negro League stats are Major League stats, that OTP will merge the stats, so then we won't have to play this game of like, why is the good version of Heavy Johnson not importing? Why is it like this super weak orange and red version of Heavy Johnson, not the blue and green version that's so good? In case you guys haven't seen it, here's the best example of 1933 Josh Gibson. The left is what imported, and the right is what came through. Oh, sorry, the right is what we got by going into the season. The left is what came through the import. So unfortunately, the season setup takes a bit of time. We're gonna have to do that twice, but not once we have these Negro League recovery seasons saved, we'll just pop into them whenever we need to pull data. This is where everyone has to suffer through me being a bit of a completist on stuff like this. Like we could have just started the season without Heavy Johnson, especially without sponsored polls. That one season wasn't super great, but they're on the team. I want to have their data. I want to have them represented. Um, and so I was gonna do it anyway. I figured I might as well do it on stream so people can see what it looks like. Okay, it doesn't really matter which team we're managing here. So we can just take, I don't know. Um, well, not the Yankees. It does matter a little bit to me, I guess. How about the Giants? In honor of Ezra Denny, we'll take the Giants. Okay. All right, we'll start the game. And then, oh, this will be a two. You can do this in any season of the base game. I'll show you how you can see. Okay, like we're managing the Giants, NY1. We're in Major League Baseball. You probably go here for standings and news and schedules and stuff. But if you use this pull down, you can go to any minor league, or in this case, the Negro Leagues. So we're going to go into the Negro Leagues. And then within the Negro Leagues, Oh, I forgot to look up. Spotswood Polls is on the New Lincoln Giants, but what team was Heavy Johnson on? Is anyone new enough to the game where Heavy Johnson still sounds funny to them? Okay, he was on Kansas City Monarchs. I feel like I should have known that. I feel like that's a big miss on my part there that I didn't know that. Kansas City Monarchs. And there's Heavy Johnson batting third, playing catcher. Okay, now this is what we want, right? 80, 75 of 80 contact, 85 of 95 on an 80 scale of BABIP. Nolan says, I feel like Brits who don't follow baseball would have a field day over Randy Johnson. Yeah. I, so Randy Johnson is a great example of Johnson by itself won't get you on the team, but if you're a Randy Johnson, you're definitely on the team. Um, yeah, so keep this blue and green set of bars in mind because when we go back to 1969, I'll show you what imported for Heavy Johnson, and you'll be very disappointed how red and orange and poor that version is. So we're just going to screenshot his batting ratings here. And unfortunately, to get all of them, I need to do two screenshots. So um, I have to do it because I'm missing these secondary traits on the bottom. They're not that important, but I just told you I'm a completist, so I feel like I need to get them. All right, so we have screenshots of Heavy Johnson's attributes. They include the defense, so we'll update that too. And again, because it's newly, like you can see, they had to do a bunch of assumptions, which is why I think his numbers are across the board 61s, and his catcher ratings are across the board 110s. I I, I I don't think it's coincidence they end up that way. I think they just didn't have enough data, so they said, okay, well, we'll make him 110 across the board. All right. So then we have his screenshots. So then let's go ahead and create 1923, and we'll get Spotswood polls. So yeah, you see how we have to like jump in the time machine, go all the way to these other years just to get data that's in the game, but for some reason won't import properly. And so hopefully that will change with now that the Negro League stats are officially MLB stats. Okay, we're going to call this NEL Recovery 1923. So yeah, if you haven't used that little pull down in whatever sim you're playing these days, you can go in and like check out any minor league, even minor leagues that you don't have affiliates in, and you can just kind of poke around and see what's going on. And if it's a more recent sim, you'll probably find players in there that are like little baby versions of major leaguers you know. They're just in single A ball or summer ball waiting to develop. For this one, we want Spotswood Poles. Just get some screenshots of him. And once we fix their profiles, we'll be ready to go. The thing I was trying to decide today was whether I want to play the game batter by batter or let it sim and then just watch the game batter by batter. And I think I'm going to let it sim because I don't want to be I don't want to be having to make decisions, warming pitchers up and stuff. I just want to kind of enjoy the game, do some commentary, and just see what happens. Plus, it'd be too tempting to like bring in pitchers just because their names are great. I want to see what the AI does. Okay, so we'll be the New York Giants again. Doesn't matter what team. We could always change what team we're representing once we're in here because we're in commissioner mode. But really, we just want to get in here to go into the Negro League data. And so here is the Major League Baseball again. All right, what happened, Nolan? I hit allow on your comment and then it disappeared. I swear I hit allow. This is the second time that happened. No, if you want to type it again, I'll. If it won't let me allow it, I'll just at least read it out loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're looking for. All right, we're in the Negro Leagues now. And then the team we want is. Oh, oh wait, now this is different. This is Kitty Cat Tabo. Yeah, it's his official name in Baseball Reference, so I have him on here as Pussy Tabo. Yep, he's on the team. And then Max LP. I think this is his alt 81. Uh, I mean, Randy did have a big unit. Big unit is his nickname. Here, I'll show you his. So big unit though. So Max, it is your alt. Good. Okay. I didn't know if it was one of those things like Applebee's Hound, which I don't think is actually um lap, but I don't know if Max LP 81 was like someone shadowing you, like Applebee's Hound. Let me find for Nolan. I can't remember if Tebow was a batter or a position player. Oh, here he is. This is for Nolan. And check out the picture I found of this dude. This is back when they played without gloves. Oh, you need drops for packs for your account? Yeah, good. We welcome anyone seeking packs. So, yep, Pussy Tebow. And we can say his name because that's his name. It's in BREF. It's in Wikipedia. He's listed as Pussy Tebow. So the reason though, Randy Johnson, big unit. Big unit is one of his well-known nicknames. He's not known as Big Unit Johnson, but he's already in on the strength of Randy Johnson. Wait, I can't say his name on Twitch, but that's his actual like name. You couldn't type it. Oh, that's what you meant. You couldn't type it. Oh, that's why you put Kitty Cat Tavo in the chat. Got it. Got it. You know what? I couldn't even I was trying to explain. Someone had asked in their stream like what I was working on or what I was streaming next, and I said, "Oh, an NSFW names team," but it's in chat, and like it replaced NSFW with asterisks, and I'm like, that's ironic that the acronym for things that are not safe to say at work, the acronym itself is now not accepted. So you know what? I'm new to this. I'm gonna play with my mod settings and maybe like tone it down a bit so you can say these things, but. Yeah, no one's saying anything bad. These are like their real names. Sorry, when I meant tone it down, I meant tone down the moderation, not tone down what you guys were saying. What you guys were saying is great. Okay, so we are looking for. Yeah, I looked it up and I can't remember who it was now. Sponsored polls was on. Was it the Chicago American Giants? No. Um, It's not the Monarchs. Oh wait. Oh, hold on. Nolan's trying to say something. You can set your channel to be NSFW, but it will make your channel have a content warning for anyone under 18. Oh, I see. So if I do that, then it won't. Well, I feel like when I chose my moderation settings, I chose something like pretty high. So I'll just experiment with like, see, I hit allow and it just says thanks for your feedback, but I don't see your comment in my chat anymore. This time I did it very deliberately. So Nolan's saying you think yours is the moderate. Your mod is moderate. Yeah, I'm gonna change that between. I can't do it right now because my Twitch is in one of those modes where it thinks I'm not logged in. So it will let me stream. It will save the VOD. But for example, if I try to change the title right now, it won't let me do it. It acts like I'm not logged in. I also can't claim drops when it's in this mode. I can't save any changes to my profile. Um, okay, so I'm trying to figure out Spotswood. Okay, Nolan. Well, it's not just me then. It's funny because everyone like suggests all the same, like five or six things. I'm like, yeah, I've done all those, but I don't want to. I don't want to necessarily like say, oh yeah, yeah, I've done that because I don't want people to start giving me suggestions. But all the suggestions, I'm like, yeah, we've tried that. Okay, it's the New York Lincoln Giants, but I'm not finding the New York Lincoln Giants, am I? Okay, it says New York Lincoln Giants there, but when I go to the game, there is no New York Lincoln Giants. Is there a different Negro Leagues that season? I doubt it's in the Pacific Coast League, but let's check. No. Although there is a Portland Beavers, the entire team can be eligible. Um, Texas League. We do have Mark Beavers from the Red Wave. Um, yeah, there's New York. There's no New York here. Okay, so the only place it can be is in the Negro Leagues. And there is no New York Lincoln Giants. Okay, let's just go team by team. It won't take that long. Birmingham Black Barons. I mean, he'd be a starter, right? There's no way he's not a starter. But let's just check. No Spotswood polls. Chicago American Giants. Noel says you looked up silly names. If you don't see a Pickles Dillhofer in the future. Well, Pickles Dillhofer might face R. Radhamez Dickoff. Dickoff versus Dillhofer. No it's possible. There is Cristobal Toriente, though, who has a hot card in PT25 right now. Um, Cleveland Tate Stars. No. Detroit Stars. Turkey Stearns. Edgar Wesley, who had a great card in PT24. Hellcats Gaming. It's listed as the Eastern Color League, not the NNL. Not sure if ECL is in the game or not. You know what? It's not. I'm just. Thanks for letting me know that, Hellcats Gaming. That's super helpful. I'm in here anyways. I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna keep looking just in case. I'm not hopeful, but look at this. The Havana Cuban Stars West is empty. That's weird. I think that actually makes me a little hopeful because if there's an entire team in here that's blank, then maybe Spotswood Polls is in here as a different player. Free wins all season again. Yeah, it's all gym unknowns. There's Connie Day, Kansas City Monarchs. There's Heavy Johnson, the 23 version. Newt Joseph, Frank Duncan, who's got a great card this year. Newt Allen and Newt Joseph, I think both had great cards last year. There's Bullet Joe Rogan in center field. Well, Brent, hope you're doing well tonight. We are trying to find Spotswood Poles in the Negro League so we can get his proper attributes and replace the watered down attributes we get when we import Negro League players. And LCATS Gaming let us know that the Negro League that Spotswood Poles played in is not in the game. So we're probably not going to be able to find him. But since we're already in here, I'm just going to check all the teams just in case. It then also raises a question, the watered down version of Heavy Johnson we're getting, presumably comes from the version on the team in these Negro leagues. Where is the watered down version of Spotswood Poles coming from then? If his league is not in the game. The other place we can look is we can actually do a player search. So this is every player in the game. But I want the player list. Okay, so in this list, see here it has Negro League players in it. So I wonder if we can find Spotswood Poles in here. I'm gonna sort it by name. So, ball player Zwingler. I wonder if ball player Zwingler means in the records they could find someone named Zwingler, but some of the players it says like bats unknown, throws unknown. Well, maybe they couldn't find his first name in the record, so he's just known as ball player. Because here's ball player Yuri, ball player Yuna. That's actually pretty cool. Um, polls. Okay, getting close. Sponsored polls. Look at that. We found him. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so anytime you're in a season, you can go to player search and it'll show everyone in that season. And as long as you clicked import minor leagues when you started the season, you'll have everybody in the OTB universe for that year. And so by doing that, we're able to find spots with polls. Oh, but this is the weak version. This is the version we imported, not the kick-ass Negro League version that we wanted. Dang it. Ah, I was so psyched. I want to take some screenshots of this just in case. Hellcats Gaming says that Zwingler player was a minor leaguer in 1920 or 1923 in the Blue Ridge League. There's no stats listed for him in BREF. Yeah, so I'm assuming they probably couldn't find his first name either. They probably found, like a box score or a lineup card, and it just said Zwingler. That's cool though. The ball player is like the Jim Unknown version of the first name. Yeah, so let me get screenshots of this, even though we're probably not going to use it because it's the weak version. I do want to compare it to what we got and see if this is where that import's coming from. And in fact, while we're here, let's look at the Heavy Johnson that's in this player search too. Ah, I was so psyched for a second. I thought we found him. I mean, we did, but I thought we found the full power version of him. All right, here's Heavy Johnson. I wonder if because he's on a team, Yeah, maybe because he's on a team, he gets the full. That's weird. Man. All right, well, let's go back to 1969. All right, here's NSFW names 1969. That's the game we're going to go back into. Although it could be that I wonder if it's just that he just wasn't that good. Here's his stat line: 284, 7 on OPS. So here's what I want to do when we go into his card in the game. Like, let's see, is his OPS projected to be 701 or around there? I like Hellcat's game is on the ball with these searches. You can see all the other crazy sims that we've done. Here's Fingers 2023. That's the sim where we took 5 players who had lost fingers and added them to the 2023 Mets. Here's Game Night 1997 Mariners. Game Night number 1. That's where we took the Mariners and played the game of Force 4 trades. And we made 4 teams give us their best player that we wanted. All right, so let's go back to our roster. Oh, one thing I want to do before we start is I don't know if you guys, do you know how to, if you guys shortlisted players, you see how they all look like normal, right? Capitalization and stuff. If you shortlist them, now they'll be all caps. Now the reason that's helpful is because this is a multi-season sim, and if there's, well, we know there'll be expansion. As these players leave our roster, you can always spot them because they'll be the only players in all caps. I mean, there are other reasons to shortlist players, like for example, in the draft, if you want to like keep an eye on a player and want to try to grab them, or if you and then if you don't get them, you want to kind of see how they develop. You can shortlist them so they'll stay capitalized. But what I like to do is I can just kind of look at any list of players and spot my players. Old Hoss Radberg, you know what? I don't know. So Nolan suggesting that Old Hoss Radburn is a spiritual advisor to this team. If you know, you know. And this is one case where I do not know. And I'm kind of enjoying not knowing. This is the feeling I'm sure some people get with some of these names, where like, why is this dude have this player on this roster and laugh about it every time their name comes up? I will say, Nolan, Old Hoss Radburn is one of the players I used to read. He's credited for being the first recorded instant of flipping the bird in a photo. Oh, amazing! That is a great fact, man. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, that's great. So I was about to say, I used to read the baseball encyclopedia. So if you haven't seen it, it's a reference book that's like a cinder block. It's thick and um just like this brick of a book. And I used to just read it and look for interesting stats and stat lines. And Old Hoss Radburn is one that I found that was just fascinating because he was one of those guys who like pitched like 500 innings one season and I don't know 50 complete games or something. And so I've always been a big Old Hoss Radford fan because of the baseball encyclopedia. And so when you brought him up, I was like, oh, that's amazing. If there's something great about him and him being the first to flip the bird in the photo is amazing. That's a great bit of trivia. So the first thing is we're probably not going to end up changing his profile because okay, I recognize these 40s. This profile is the profile we saw in the player search in 1923. And his batting ratings translate to, yeah, they translate to a 433 OPS, not a 701 OPS. So a muted version. All right, Nolan, you sent me a photo in Discord. Awesome. Um, I'm going to look at it though. I think what I'd like to do is check it out and then incorporate it into the materials for the next stream. But I do appreciate you sending, especially because I have that connection with him as a player and the baseball encyclopedia. So unfortunately, this is definitely a nerfed version of Spotswood Poles, and I may look into over the course of the season. Maybe we try to like restore him based on the stats, because by looking at this blue bar here where it shows what his stats would be, we can try to recreate this stat line. And I think we should. We should change his attributes to match the stat line. But I think that's like a good exercise for a separate episode where we show, okay, in this episode, we're going to kind of rehabilitate Spotswood Poles' profile so that he performs the way he should. And then we'll start him that day. And maybe I'll do a little more research and we can do like a full profile on him. So we'll do Heavy Johnson because we have the screenshots. But for Spotswood Poles, I'm going to make that a separate project. All right, now you guys, do you remember how much blue there was in that Heavy Johnson profile? Where the heck is he? I don't even know what order these are in. Let me do order by name. Okay. Look at this list. Heavy Johnson, Randy Johnson, Jansen Junk, Snapper Kennedy. All right. Look at this. Orange, red, and yellow. Nowhere near those beautiful blue bars we saw in his profile. But I've got the screenshot, so we're gonna edit him right now. Interestingly, everything else is nerfed about him, but his infield attributes are way higher in this. But we're going to replace everything with what we grabbed from 1922. So you won't see the screenshots, but you will see me typing into. Okay, here is. Yeah, okay, I've got the right screenshot. Oh, no, wait, that's Spotwood Poles. Let me get. Here it is, Heavy Johnson. Nice. Okay. And you'll probably see right off the bat how different some of these numbers are going to be. Right, this 118 contact, that's ridiculous. I'm going to change the potential ones too. We're just going to go across the board. So BABIP 159, his BABIP in 1922 was 522. So this version of him that imported is BS. So and also if you watch, you'll get to see, you can see the overalls change as I change the individual attributes that make it up. So 523, 522, 400. And you can see his stat line is going to improve too, right? It's already up to 205 with a 530 OPS. It's just going to keep getting higher as we go. Well, potential is 545. Okay, avoid K is 436, 435, 437. Okay, now we're up to a 342 average, 823 OPS. Hey, Kitty Poo Poo, yo, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are fixing the profile of Heavy Johnson. The one that imports is, for some reason, nerfed. That happens with almost every Negro League player we've ever tried to bring into a sim. So we had to take the time machine back to 1922, take screenshots of his profile, and we're now back in 1969 correcting his card to give him his just dues. So just by correcting his BABIP and avoid K, he's now hitter to a 342 hitter with an 823 OPS. And we haven't even done gap and power yet. So gap 474, 472, 485. And then the power is going to add home runs, which is going to add to the average because home runs are not counted as part of BABIP and avoid K. So his power number is 497, 495, and 506. Okay, now we're up to a 378 average and an 1134 OPS, which goes to show what BS the imported version of him was. This is why we have to go back in history to get the right numbers. 392, 390, 408. And this is only his like second year in the league. Just like a monster. His this season and next season are just monster seasons. Okay, then we're also going to do his secondary ratings. Running speed 153. Oh wait, he's also normal instead of pull and spray. Actually, the secondaries I need to go to another screenshot for, so let's just do his fielding for now. His infield range, like I said, is actually higher in this imported version, but we're going to go with what was in 1923. So 61 infield range, 162 outfield range. So much better outfielder in the correct version found. 61, 134, 61, 134, 61, and then catcher ratings are 110 all across. And the imported version had no catcher ratings. Okay, and then his experience 200 at catcher. If you haven't done fielding ratings in editor before, they're kind of cool. They show you a lot about the underlying assumptions in the base game about how fielding works. Okay, now, do you remember how orange and red his profile was? Let's go back and check it out. We still have to finish his secondary ratings, but wait. Oh, I wonder if scouting's on. If scouting's on, then his ratings won't change until. Let's go ahead and just turn scouting off. So the way it works is, um, I'd have to turn it off somewhere else. Sometimes it's hard to remember where certain things are in here. I'm I'm positive you can change it once you start the game. So you can see here like, oh, use complete scouting system. I think I can just turn it off. So if you use scouting, then you have to decide things like how accurate are the scouts and what are the reports like. I think if you turn it off, it just makes everyone basically like omniscient when it comes to player talent. Yeah, look at that. Look at that profile now. So the change had already happened, but because scouting was on, until we sent a scout to look at him, we weren't going to get a revised um, set of bars here. And the bars might be wrong because the scouts could be wrong. Because I turned scouting off, this is like actually what's going on. So everyone gets to see this. But it's you can see how much has jumped up now. So if you just bear with me, I have to just open one more screenshot, fix his secondary ratings, which include things like stealing, running, and bunting. Which I know everyone's rolling their eyes at things like bunting, but we already did the work to go get this data. We might as well put it in. We might as well get Heavy Johnson all the way right. So go back in editor. If you hadn't used editor before, I hope this inspires you to mess around in editor. It's a lot of fun. And even if you don't mess around, go ahead and look. There's lots of cool stuff to be found. Okay, so 153 running speed, so he's faster. Stealing aggressiveness 171, which isn't always great. He's going to run more. Stealing ability Well, we don't mind because his stealing ability is 188 now. Base running skills 116, nerfed a little bit. Sack bunt 84, bunt for a hit 10 times higher at 20. All right, Max, you're going to be lurking and then getting started. Good deal, man. Have a good stream. I will definitely raid into you when we're done here. Max is doing a lot of coverage of his tournament play and doing play-by-play commentary on it. It's been a lot of fun watching that. And he's the one who had those crazy glitches in his stadiums where the grass was replaced by rocks or runways. Or my favorite was garage resurfacing kit without the sprinkles of paper, but still it's like that shade of gray. Okay, so Heavy Johnson now is to full power, and I'm going to save the game because we just did a lot of work to get this ready. And a game that was won by Showboat Fisher. Yes, Showboat. Showboat, star of your team. All right, let's save this, and then we're going to start the season. I am looking forward to seeing what decisions the AI makes. So, for example, we have um, 61 players now with the addition of Steve Sharts. And surprisingly, I thought this was a good change. It did not make us immediately have to cut to 26 people for the 26-man roster. So this is our 26-man roster. Actually, 25 at the time. I'm going to change that. I think in the game settings, we should be able to change that. We'll make it a 26-man roster. It's under options. Oh, probably under rules. Yeah, active roster. So under game settings, league settings, rules is active roster size. We're going to change this to 26. Brent, you make yours 30? Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that for this team, especially because like the whole point is to like, see the names. But I've got injuries on, and I'm gonna let the AI move people in and out. And if they move in like actual players over our players, I'll kind of take over. But although you know what, to Brent's point though, maybe we make the active roster 26, but maybe we make the 40 man 61. Will it let me go that high? It sure will. That's how you put it on 30? Okay. Yeah, thanks, Brent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the active at 26, so we'll bump it by one so it's more in line with 2024 rules. But we'll expand the 40 man to 61 so we can keep all our players. But it will be interesting to see. Let me make sure I turned injuries on because I'm so used to turning them off. So under players and team, okay, we did enable injuries. Good. Um, let's go back to our roster. Yeah, so I'm going to let the AI make decisions which 26 players. Wait, 62? Do we have 62 players, not 61? Oh, because of Steve Sharts, maybe. Okay, so I need to make that. So I don't know if you know this. This little box in the middle, the arrows go previous screen, next screen. The middle box lets you pick the screen. So I think we're in rules 62-man roster. You know, I'm just gonna take it to 65, just to be safe. No need to be careful there. So all right. So we're gonna save this now before we do. Just in case when I let the AI take the reins for a second, in case it does something crazy, I want to have a save. I would recommend that you save often when you do your season saves or franchise saves. Okay, so I'm gonna let AI set up complete. Ooh. Okay, I don't necessarily want to do this minor league thing because even though we put everyone on the short list, I don't want our players going to the minors. So I was hoping there's one where we can have it set our roster. Hmm. Because the options that I'm being given here are too broad. Because I don't want him sending these players into the minors. I know what we'll do. If we have it set the pitching staff and have it set the lineups, it will, I think, automatically. I hope cut it to. Let's start with the pitching staff. Will it cut it? Well, it might not cut it to. I don't think it'll cut the number of players. I think it'll just organize these 34 players. That's also not what I want. What if I go under roster? Oh, this okay. This might work. See, I don't. Okay, it says complete minor league system separate from complete organization. I'm hoping if I. Okay, we did a save. I'm gonna click this first one, hoping it sets a wall between the 65 active roster. Oh, you know what? It should because I don't think you can make salary decisions like bringing minor leaguers on minor league contracts onto our major league roster because then we'd have to start paying them. So I think this should work, but let's find out. I want to do it from the other screen though because I like that view better. All right, we'll do it from here. All right, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. See, it's asking me entire organization. I feel like that includes the minors. Okay, we'll just revert back to the save if that happens. Yeah, you can see our shortlisted players. Now they're in single A ball. You know what? I'm good with that though, because I actually want them to develop properly. So we're gonna let them go. They're still on the 65-man roster because they're getting paid. Um, but now let's see who they kept. All right, we still have. We'll go by position. Who did we keep? All right, the pitchers. Oh, let's just do that. We'll go pitchers. Okay, our pitching staff. A rotation of Randy Johnson, Doug Fister, Mel Harder, Gene Brabender, and Urban Shocker. And the bullpen, Seth Moorhead, Johnny Cucks, Dick Hyde, Chen Ming Wang, and Guy Bush. All right. And then on the batting side, let's go by position. Who do we keep? We kept three catchers. Johnny Gooch. We brought in a non-roster player, so we're gonna send him off the team. We'll send him to AAA. Oh, bummer. We're gonna have to designate him. You know what? No. Nolan says, as a Mariners fan, you just remembered Charlie Furbush was a player. Heck yeah. I think I told this story when we were doing the roster reveal, but he was playing for the Mariners one of the years I was going to a lot of games because I had a couple of friends who had really good tickets and would invite me from time to time. And almost always on the third base side. So at when he as a lefty was pitching, his back of his jersey was always facing it. So I always got great photos of the fur bush on the back of his jersey. We're just gonna go in. We're gonna save ourselves any waiver issues, and we're just gonna go ahead and designate him to our AAA team, which I don't know what that is. So let me go That is the name of our AAA team. That's single A. If you don't know how to do this, you haven't done minor leagues for you. You just it's a pull down menu. Oh, we only have single A and I forget what BC stands for, but it's like the rookie league level. Oh, so look, Charlie Furbush wants to come up anyway. So we will so it's the West Palm Beach Expos in the Florida League. Noel says you can click the drop down next to your team name and see that roster too. Oh, you mean this way? Or did you mean roster? Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's a quick way to get to it. I like that. Thanks, Nolan. Um, the big name. Oh, look at that. I never noticed that before. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. All right, so we are going to um demote this guy, but instead of using any options or anything, we're gonna, you know, he wasn't supposed to be here anyway, so I don't feel like it's cheating. We're just undoing something that we would not have wanted to have happen. And I'm just going to assign him to Florida State League and West Palm Beach Expos. Okay, so I see his logo changed, and now we have an extra roster spot. How many pitchers do we have? We have 10 pitchers in 1969. That's probably fine, but we are bringing up Mr. Charlie Furbush. I was looking at the pitching staff, that was one of the names. I was like, where is Mr. Charlie Furbush? Oh, yeah, I just learned this. We can just do this. Yeah, so we're going to promote him. We could probably just promote him, but just in case, we're going to just add him to the team. Okay. All right, now let's go back and look at our roster. All right, we got Johnny Gooch, Heavy Johnson are our two catchers. Joe Adcock and Pete Lecoq. Adcock and Lecoq are first baseman. Oh, and Albert Pujols. Just realized Nolan saying just realized you're doing 1969. Go Pilot. Yeah. I intentionally took over the Expos so that the pilots would continue to exist. Our infielders: Stubby Clapp, Woody Held, Boob Fowler, Butts Wagner, Jack Glasscock, and Heine Sand. And then our outfielders: Dick Sizzler. Oh, he needs to be at first base because I want to coin the phrase a hot shot down the first base line should be known as a Dick Sizzler. I can't do that though if he's in left field. All right, well, you know what? It's a long season. It's many seasons. We will get to Dick Sizzler fielding a Dick Sizzler soon enough. Kosuke Fukudome, whose name is not NSFW if it's pronounced properly, but it always looks NSFW. Rusty Kuntz, not starting but on the roster, and Dick Cox. Well, I think we got a lot of the real good names here by letting the AI pick based on talent. I don't think the AI is smart enough to pick based by name. But let's also kind of see who got left off and just make sure we don't have any regrets. So, so D Block saying 10 Coons and 1 Klinsman. So D Block told me this great story. And let me show you the slide I made from the video he sent me about the England soccer team, football, I guess, had a video, a music video for one of the songs promoting the team, and in the video they're playing Germany, and this is it's a pickup game, England versus Germany, and this is what the German team looks like. So a different Kuntz, not Rusty Kuntz, because Rusty it was playing baseball in the U.S., not soccer in Europe. But I thought pretty funny. This is the original picture I had, which I had in here as a tribute to D Block because it's a Royals photo. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember when this went viral. These players just happen to be standing in these positions, players and coaches. Nolan said, I want to read it because when I hit allow, it's going to go away. Stefan D Block says Stefan Kuntz, not Rusty Kuntz. So Rusty has the advantage of having kind of double good names there. So Nolan said there's a kid in my high school with the last name Gooch. We couldn't make fun of him because he was mentally disabled. Also, that photo was goated. Oh, is that right? This isn't a legit photo? Oh, I'm really disappointed to learn that. Oh, man. I was thought, what a great coincidence. I'm so gullible. Oh, goaded. Oh, I thought. Okay, for some reason I thought goaded meant like faked. Okay, good. Here's the picture I have for Johnny Gooch, by the way, which in which he's almost kind of showing you his gooch. All right, so where were we? I know. I'm glad you. Oh, as in goat. Yeah. Okay. When you added the ed, I thought maybe it meant something different because you said goated. But yeah. Okay. Great. My my wonderful high school memories have been restored then of that picture being hilarious. I think it was around high. Maybe it was in college when I saw that picture, or by the time I saw it. Okay, so oh yeah, no, I was going to ask you. So this is a screen I like to go to because it shows me the majors and the minors, as well as the injured list and the DFA list. Is there a quick way to get to this one? Is this just the team screen? Oh, it is. Perfect. Okay, I just answered my own question, Nolan. Brent says, I remember listening to the pilots when you're in high school, and they're the closest team to Boise, Idaho. Okay, awesome. Well, they're still in here, so I want to see how our team does while still getting to see what the pilots slash Mariners do and seeing what the Mets do because I grew up a Mets fan. Um, so I thought, but I wanted to take over a team, and so least relevant team to take over seemed to be one of the expansion teams, and then Chifi's a Padres fan, so I didn't want to take over San Diego, so that left Montreal. And they kind of disappeared anyway, eventually, when they go to Washington. I mean, they don't disappear, I guess they get rebranded, but the Expos as a team name and a logo disappear, so I felt better about taking over that team. Okay, so who are we missing that a lot of them are in A ball? Are any in rookie ball? Yeah, Eddie Kuntz is there. Different spelling. Mark Beavers, George Bone. So again, I don't know if you missed it early on. I shortlisted our entire roster, which means it put all of them into all caps so we can spot them easier. Now you can see why I did that. Noah says you uh, love watching the John Boyce series on the Mariners, and he teases the one season of the Pilots. Says pilots are gone in the saddest voice. And then Brent says Yankee fan here, and I know D Block is a Royals fan. Yes, I think we all know D Block's a Royals fan, um, which is fine. I don't think that's like an obnoxious team to like because they're not very good ever. And I say this as a Mets fan who are also not very good ever. Oh no, Johnny Dickshot's all the way down in rookie ball. You know what though? Maybe we'll get some reports on him like dominating rookie ball. That might be cool. Dick Fitz also down in rookie ball. Buck Hooker, Snapper Kennedy. This is a lot of our players who like only had one cup of coffee in the majors or never got to the majors. That's why they're down there. Eddie Koontz, I mentioned earlier. Dick Manville, Trey McNutt. For some reason, Trey McNutt is so funny to me. Eddie Sexauer, Steve Sharts. Oh, I thought Steve Sharts might have a chance of being higher. He gets the AAA ball, I think. Where is Pussy DeBow? I don't know. We will find him shortly. Bert Sincock, Cy Studley, Dick Wantz. Well, at least in this era, there aren't like a ton of minor league affiliates, so that we don't have to track across like 5 minor league levels. So, yeah, Pussy DeBow must be in A ball. Boof Bonser, Dick Burns, Randy Bush, Jim Cockman, Charlie Fuchs, Pud Galvin, all in A ball. Dick Hunt and Mike Hunt, unrelated. They're not related to each other, but Dick Hunt and Mike Hunt in A ball. Jansen Junk, Gene Crap, Danny Mendick, Dick Moorhead, Dick Pole, Spotted Poles, Tony Suck. Oh, Tony Suck is in A ball. I thought he might be in rookie ball. Cannonball Titcomb, and Fred Woodcock. Okay. Do we have any? I don't think we should because they're all just imported in. So do you all know what these little symbols mean? So the asterisk means they're on the secondary roster, which means they're getting paid. Um, and it matters a little bit for options. And then the pound sign or the number sign means they're Rule 5 draft eligible. All our players are new to this world, so they should be fine. How did I import a 7th-year-old Pud Galvin? What? Is that? Oh my goodness, he is. I must have. Okay, that is a great catch. I must have. Thank you, Nolan. The senior abusing this 73-year-old Pud. Um, I bet I put the wrong year down. So I'm looking at this. So I'm looking at where's Pud Galvin. That's the okay. Here's the Pud Galvin 1930. So then if I check that against Baseball Reference, he's supposed to be like in the 1870s, I think. It's funny that it still pulled him in. Yeah. So yeah, he's supposed to be he should be like 1880-ish. Sorry. Nolan, man, that's a sharp eye. Thank you for catching that. I could just do an individual player import. We'll delete the 7-year-old version. So for Pud Galvin, we wanted. Oh, sorry, it's still loading, so it's not letting me scroll. Okay, here we go. I think we probably wanted 1880, and I think I put what 1930. Check out his win loss records: 37 and 27. Nolan says he found a player who was 101 once but doing it 96 Mariners. Thank you for the season. There's I think in South Dakota there was like an 80 something year old minor leaguer. And he got an at bat. I think he struck out. But how did your 101-year-old do? Eight. We'll just grab 1879. We'll grab his rookie season. Let me grab his player ID. All right, let's import him real quick before I forget to do it. Oh, okay. 1884 look tasty too. Yeah, well, I'm trying to grab a season. Oh, I just spaced on what year I was going to grab to. I'm trying to grab a season that they can grow into. To 1883 is the big one that I want to make sure we got. Um, and since I'm not sure how many seasons we'll do, maybe I'll grab 81 just to make it a little more likely we'll see 83 and 84. We'll grab 81. Was it 79? Yeah, let's grab 81 though. I want to be able to grab more of those peak seasons. I want to make sure I want to make sure we hit those peak seasons. So we'll go and import from the historical database. 18. It has such high stamina at 73 years old. That's Nolan. It must be um Nugenics. Is that the Frank Thomas, Doug Flutie stuff? Who gave him little blue pills? Yeah, these players, when you bring them into the modern world, they might perform much differently given some of the new developments that they'll be around. Let me update that notepad file too. I don't know why I would have put 1930 for him. I wonder. It doesn't look like I messed up with players on either side of him though. That's bizarre. But man, great catch. I just glossed right past that. Nolan on the ball. And actually, the 73-year-old one will also still be there, so we can kind of look at them side by side. You know what? I'm kind of curious to see if the compare player function exists in the base game. And that's a great little function in Perfect Team. But you're also probably in the position to compare cards way more often in Perfect Team. No one wants to run a team of all 100 plus age players for a season just to see if they can win a game. Gumbercules says it does. Hey, Gumbercules, welcome to the stream. I don't know if you've been lurking for a while, but we are getting the team ready for the opening day of the inaugural season. All right, one player imported. They're going to be in the free agent pool. Pud Galvin. And in case anyone missed it, check out this big swinger. Let me get you a picture of Pud Galvin here. Hold on, I'm still looking for the. Here we go. Here is Pud Galvin. 1870s pitcher or 1970s adult film star? You decide. All right, so Bud Galvin. So he should be in the free agent pool. There he is. Look at that. Wow, 3.5 stars overall, 4.5 star potential. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and we're just gonna put him on our team using editor. So I've just gone into his editor and adding him to Major League Baseball franchise time machine. And the logo pops up. So, um, okay. So, but see, he's not all caps yet because he's um, not on a short list yet. But that's fine because this one is. So, yeah, Nolan's right. He's 73 years old with a stamina of 85. What? I wonder what his scouting report says. Ron Galvin is a 73-year-old starting pitcher who was born in St. Louis, Missouri. He throws a three-pitch mix of changeup, sinker, and fastball. He has bouts of inconsistent command, and walks will likely continue to be a problem. Continue beyond his 73-year-old season. Galvin can hold down a rotation spot in the minors, but will likely be overmatched in the majors. Nothing beyond just stating that he's a 73-year-old starting pitcher. Nothing about his age. All right, so we are going to retire this Pud Galvin, or let's just delete him. And then we're going to put this Pud Galvin on our short list, so he's all caps. And we're going to ask. No, you know what? We're not going to ask. We're just going to, because I don't want him to add that. I don't want the AI to add that non. Oh, yeah, he has to be. Okay, he wasn't added? I thought he would have been added. We got to add him to the 6-man roster because he's under contract. And we'll option him to single A ball. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I want to crank up the personnel ratings. So if you haven't done this in base game, why not play him? I mean, we could, but we already had our 26-man roster, and we will eventually play them because due to injury and also just I'm going to want to rotate people in. And frankly, if this goes more than a season, people will move on, right? And we'll be moving these players up to minors, so he will eventually play. Um, But if you haven't played a lot of base game, one of the things I like to do when I do a sim like this is juice up my minor league personnel so that my players develop better. So you can go under front office, and no one will probably tell me an instant way to do this faster. So you can see here your coaching staffs for your minor league teams and then your major league staffs. We don't have a bench coach. Oh, do you know who I want to add as my bench coach? Let me share a slide with you here in a second. I have been thinking about this, my bench coach. Hopefully, you guys all approve. Negro League legend, Come Posey. So he was a Negro League player, manager, and team owner. He eventually became the principal owner of the Homestead Grays. He was voted into the Hall of Fame in 2006, and he was also a professional basketball player and team owner. So this guy did everything, and eventually owned a very profitable Homestead Grays team. So we have a vacancy at bench coach. I think this is our guy. We're gonna add Composy to our team. Now, there's not going to be a composing the game. So what we're going to do is, again, because we can use editor, you can use editor on coaches too. So first, let's go find a bench coach. And we can frankly take anybody because we're going to edit them. But we're going to take kind of a more distinguished composee who's done more of that um, team management, maybe not quite into the team ownership yet. So maybe someone in their 40s. Okay, I'm going to assign this guy, but we're just going to assign him actually to our team. So he's going to be Major League Baseball, franchise time machine, uh, into the job of bench coach. And while we're here, we're going to just edit him. And now name is one of the fields in the base game. Do you not want to sort by action steps? Oh, I just wanted to find a player because I'm going to change him completely in editor anyway, Nolan. So I wasn't too worried about like finding like the perfect candidate. So I think name is still one of those fields. If you don't hit enter when you leave this page and come back, it will have changed back. So Composy, and we're going to make him African American, male. I'm actually going to try to get his height and weight closer to what actual might have been. But here we're going to give him lots of experience, and we're going to crank up his ratings. Um, so it's the 200. He's at the major league level, so we're not. Well, get him high, but not too high on development. We do want him influencing mechanics, handle aging. Probably not too important for this team. These things we're going to crank up though. We'll go 180, 180. Let's just go 180 across the board. Why not to 200 across the board now that I think about it? But so yeah, you can change all these attributes. Frankly, just seeing the attributes is helpful when you're shopping for a coach. So you can use editor for that, or you can just like take whoever you want and then mold them into whatever you want them to be. From what I heard, he was probably a mix of temperamental and control. I read a few articles about him in the run up to this, but we'll just set him at normal for now. We'll just put him right down the middle for now. He'll be conventional. Actually, I'm going to adjust his sliders later, so we'll put him sabermetric for now. Hitting focus, we'll put him in neutral. Pitching focus, we'll put him in neutral too. Okay, he's not going to do any scouting for us, so I'm not going to mess with that. We'll put a little more towards favoring prospects, neutral between pitchers and hitters. I'm going to favor offense a little bit. We'll favor power a little bit. And we're going to favor on base percentage a lot. And for player evaluation, it's going to be scout value, current year status. That sounds good. He's not going to be doing our trades, not going to be doing our drafts. These sliders will change, we'll adjust later. We'll leave it like this for now. Okay, so we have our bench coach now. Or do we have to do any actions? He's on our team now, right? Oh, let's shortlist him so his name's going to be in all caps. And let's go back to our personnel screen. All right. Why isn't he our bench coach? What? I put him on our team. I made him our bench coach. Oh, I didn't hit apply. All right, we're gonna lock him down for 10 years and 10-year extension. We'll, we'll 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 bump him up to 20K. Okay, this way we don't have to worry about our bench coach for a while. All right. There are a few other roles that are somewhat important. So, okay, so we have a bench coach. We will tweak our pitching coach and hitting coach over time, but our team trainer. So your team trainer determines how frequently your players well helps determine how frequently players get injured, but also helps them recover. And so we do have injuries on. So I want to let the injuries happen, but I want our and also if anyone has finds it a when I say real, like I mean like a real person that somewhere in the world, maybe you can document with a photo or something, a real doctor's name that is NSFW, I would be happy to make them our trainer. So right now, our trainer's name is Riley Wither, and but here's what you can see here: is it focus prevention, recovery, or balanced or unknown? We're going to focus on recovery because we're going to let the injuries happen. And so you can see there's different attributes. What are they on a scale from 1 to 200 in terms of rehabbing injuries and preventing injuries? So I'm not going to touch the preventing injuries, but I am going to max out the recovery injuries because I want our trainers going to be awesome at helping players get back into the game. We'll leave this alone. Wow, prevent other injuries naturally at 200. I don't think I've seen that before. And then fatigue recovery we're going to max out. So they're really good at helping our players get over fatigue. Okay, so that's another thing. If you haven't played with that, your trainer is pretty important. And then what I am going to change now is our minor league coaches. I'm just going to make them like world-class player developers so that our minor league players who are there because they either only played in the minors in real life, so I only had minor league stats to pull, or they were one and done in the show, so they just had a cup of coffee, and usually a pretty poor performance in the majors. Well, we're going to see if we can coach them up because we're on career mode, not recalc mode. So recalc mode, if they had one season and then we're done, that's pretty much what they're going to do in the sim. But by putting them career mode, I'm hoping that we can get them to progress towards their whatever their potential was considered. Berkeley says there's a Dr. Dick L. Ong who is a surgeon and physician. I'll put the image on the Discord. Okay, that's definitely in the running. That would be a great team trainer. All right, so our A ball manager, we'll go ahead and edit Sai Chen. Um, so we're just gonna make all of our managers, minor league managers and coaches, just great player development people. So we're gonna max out handling aging. So you have a hitting coach and a pitching coach, and then a manager. The manager I'm not quite sure how the breakdown works because I always just max out stuff. But my understanding is they influence overall, and then the pitching coach is much more focused on the pitching teaching, and the batting coach on the hitting teaching. What wasn't clear to me is whether the defense and running tend to come from the head coach, or from the manager, or from the hitting coach. But we want to get our minor leaguers to get as much development as they can. So we're also going to make this guy less of a temperamental jerk and just make him normal. You don't want to make them personable or easygoing because you don't want your players walking all over them either. So I like to go down the middle. Okay, so that's our manager. So Nolan asking, I think we're looking at the same list number. Do you see Dr. BJ Hardick as well? BJ Hardick. All right, someone please send me a link to that and I will Okay, our pitching coach is Jesse Berriman. We're gonna boost up their coaching abilities too. Now, this is a pitching coach, so we're just going to focus on the pitching. Oh my goodness, a Dr. Poinsack. Now, just in case the pitching coach is teaching some of these other positional things, I'm going to max them out. And we want the pitcher and coach to be neutral. I want all kinds of pitchers to benefit from this coach. And our batting coach. And no pitching, but again, just in case the fielding, we will cover. Let me go back and on the pitching coach, there were a few attributes up at the top that I may not have maxed out that I maybe should have. Um, yeah, handle development, influence mechanics, handle aging. Okay, but does not have to be able to teach hitting. All right, and then we'll do the same for the rookie league coaches, starting with the manager. We're just going to max them out again. Oh, and also, so I don't have to worry about it. I forgot. I'm going to lock them down into some long-term deals too. So say hello for 10 years, and we'll give you a little bump to 3,000. That was Kyle Moore, but let me go lock down our other our A ball coaches. Yeah, we're not going to sim 20 years, but this way we're just sure not to have to worry about it. Have you guys gone in an editor on personnel before? I don't know if people are seeing this for the first time or not. I don't know the extent to which it affects gameplay, but I this is one of the things I just like take over and crank up when I play base game in commissioner mode. It's just a big time saver to not have to go find and hire new coaches all the time. Both both the forming them in the image of what I want and also locking them down to these 20-year contracts. All right, bear with me. We got two more coaches to do, and I think we're ready to start. Pitching coach Chris Cohn. Again, this is a pitching coach, so we're going to max out everything except teaching hitting. Oops. Yeah, actually, those don't matter. The pitching coach focus neutral. Perfect. And lock you down. 1,500. We'll bump you to 2,000 that for the next 10 years. Steve Bonnier. Okay, he's our hitting coach. All right. And then we'll lock him down to a long term deal. And we are good to go. Okay. We will worry about our major league team um, front coach later. Or Okay, so let's go back out to the rosters. Oh, we didn't look at lineups before. We got leading off shortstop Jack Glasscock, batting second Dick Cox, batting third catcher Heavy Johnson, batting cleanup Albert Pujols, batting fifth Dick Sizzler, batting sixth Woody Held, batting seventh Kosuke Fukudome, and then batting eighth third baseman Butts Wagner. All right, I like that. Let's just do a save and then we'll start the season. Game one. You guys already know about Composy at all, our bench coach? I didn't know if he was kind of common knowledge or not. All right, let's go ahead and save this. I was thinking it would be really cool someday if we can get like Dr. Dynastic with his awesome announcer voice and his spotting charts. And I like how seriously he takes it to do the announcing for one of our games with his team. And maybe we'll tell him like, oh, we'll have your spotting charts ready. Like, we'll prepare a really good spotting charts, but like, we won't show him the names until the day of the game. Um. Anyway, I thought that would be kind of fun. And he's a good sport too. He came in one of the roster reveal days, and he was joking around with, just like the rest of us. He was really a lot of fun. So he might be up for it. I don't know. We'd have to see. And I know it'd be tough with his work schedule though. All right, let's see. Where are we now as far as schedule? We are on April 5th. What does our schedule look like? Oh, we opened against the Mets. Fantastic. And all right. As a Mets fan, that's very exciting. And they, in real life won the World Series this year. So no one knows it yet, but we're going to open up against the on the road at the real life champions of the season. Okay, I keep thinking I'm forgetting to save something, but is our mailbox set up right? Oh yeah, I left these all on just because I want to see what kind of news comes in 1969. We'll unclick some of these as we go to keep our mailbox from getting overwhelmed. Okay, this prospect list actually is before we imported our players. So I will be curious to see if any of our NSFW names start popping up in some of these reports or lists. All right, so I think let's just go sim to our first game. Oh no, Chad, am I forgetting to do anything? I feel like we're ready to go. All right then. Maybe just in case I clip it. Here's what we're doing. We've done the roster cleanup. We are now at opening day of our inaugural season for Team NSFW. And we're going to sim to opening day. It's going through all of the season setup stuff. Yeah, maybe I should have saved it after all that. Holy cow. I just realized I've been doing this whole replay on mute. Are you kidding me? When did I mute this? What? How long has this been on mute? Oh man. Should I should I start over? I've been laughing at some of my play calls, but I'm the only one who heard them. Okay, Max is laughing, so at least he's hearing this. Max, should I start over or should I just maybe do the next replay? Should I go to game two? That's amazing. I don't know if anyone else is doing it, but I was having a blast. I mean, we already know what's going to happen at this point, so I might as well finish out the game and then maybe we'll see what we do. If this is any indication how the season goes, when did I mute? Was I muted the whole time? I guess I'll have to check out the VOD. All right, we've got Jack Glasscox again, leading off the top of the ninth, 2-2 count facing Ron Taylor. And Glasscock goes down swinging. That'll bring up Dick Cox. One out, 3-0 count. And he draws the walk. So Dick Cox advances down to first, brings up Heavy Johnson. So full count for Heavy Johnson, and he draws a walk, first and second now. Ron Taylor's in a bit of bit of trouble here with only a one-run lead, and the go-ahead run on first now in the form of Heavy Johnson. And that brings up Albert Pujols. So Pujols is one out, 1-0 count. Oh, and he drives it deep to left field. And Pujols is gone. 3-run home run to take the lead. All right. Well, now with the 7-5 lead, that brings up Dick Sizzler. Dick Sizzler facing new reliever Danny Frisella. And Dick Sizzler goes down swinging again. We'll have to check the box score. I think he might be on an 0 for with multiple strikeouts. All right, that brings up defensive substitute Heine Sand, third baseman. Hits a ground ball to short, fielded cleanly, and thrown over to first for the out. The inning's over. So the Mets now trying to close out the game in the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if oh yeah, Johnny Cucks is in the game. That's right. Johnny Cucks facing Ron Swoboda. No outs, full count to Swoboda. Cucks winds and delivers. And a check swing, but he is out. Strikes him out for out number one. Brings up Wayne Garrett, batting lefty against Cucks. Pitch from Cucks is hit down to the first baseline, past Pujols into right field. So Dick Cox gets the ball back in, but the damage is done. Runner on first brings up Art Shamsky, pinch hitting. Cox delivers. It's a ground ball to second base. Stubby Clap flips to Glasscock and over to Pujols for the out, and that ends the game. The the classic clap to Glasscock to Pujols double play. All right, I can't wait to see how much of that game I called on mute. I don't even know when I went on mute. Maybe did I take a sip of water or something at some point? If that's the case, it might only been an inning or so. But man, all right, I gotta check out this box score since Dick Sizzler was a big disappointment. First of all, he's not playing first base, which I was hoping would become the signature Dick Sizzler line drive down the first base line. But then he also seemed to form pretty poorly. All right, let's check out this box score. Glasscock 1 for 2, Dick Cox 2 for 4, Heavy Johnson 2 for 4 with 3 runs. Albert Pujols, man, 4 for 5 with 5 RBI. Dick Sizzler 1 for 4 with an RBI, 3 strikeouts and 3 left on base. That's what I really noticed was the strikeouts and left on base. So he did get a hit and drive a run in, but those 3 strikeouts were very memorable. Woody held 0 for 3, left 4 on base with 2 strikeouts. Pete Lecoq did his job as a pinch hitter, 1 for 1. Heidi Sand, mostly a defensive substitute, went 0 for 1. Fukudome 1 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Butts Wagner 0 for 2 with a walk. Johnny Gooch pinch hit and left 2 on base. Stubby Clapp, defensive sub, did not bat. And Joe Adcock pinch hit. And Johnny Cuck came in relief for the win. Cucks for the relief win. Yeah, Randy Johnson roughed up 7 innings, 5 runs, 5 earned. 6 strikeouts and only 6 strikeouts and 4 walks. Hopefully he'll adjust to 1969 better. Oh, that is something probably worth thinking about is in all those sims where I was taking the 86 Mets back to 62, 63, and so on, they did really well until about 65. And then as we got closer to 1968, the year of the pitcher, those 86 Mets became less and less effective. And I think it was two things. The batters were getting overpowered by the better pitching, and the strength of the team, which is like a deep, strong pitching rotation, was not as differentiating anymore. And so it'll be interesting to see what this team of NSFW names does 1 year after the year of the pitcher. All right, I think let's. I was going to look at the win probability graph. Look at that big jump in the ninth inning. Since the third inning, it was pretty much all Mets, and then big shift in the ninth. And that was the Albert Pujols 3-run home run. Was he player of the game? Player of the game, Albert Pujols. So I have reached out to OOTP. So now that I'm an affiliate, I'm able to ask to see if I can get some giveaway packs because I thought it'd be fun. Whether it's the NSFW team or one of my wacky season sims, I'm always doing some sort of simulation. So for this team, maybe it'll be like the score or the player of the game. And then for the season sims, it'll probably be like, guess the number of wins and then like some of the postseason awards. So I'm hoping if I can get that set up, we can do some guessing games. I think that's more kind of in line with what we do on this. Whoa, what is going on with that? I think that's more kind of in line with what we do on this stream than doing like random drawings or marbles, which are fun, but just seems like a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if off brand is the right term, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to get some packs for everybody and give them away. Let's see what happened across the rest of the majors. We'll go ahead and finish the day and unhide scores. Oh, it's the next day. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Cubs beat the Phillies 6-5. Pirates beat the Cardinals 6-2. Josh Gibson took the loss. Braves beat the Giants 6-3. And the Padres. Oh, Cheeky will be happy. The Padres beat the Astros 2-1. And in the AL, Orioles beat the Red Sox 6-2. Cleveland beat Detroit 4-3. Royals beat the Twins in extra innings 5-4. Wow. Twins scored one in the top of the 10th, and then the Royals came back and scored two in the bottom of the 10th. Seattle Pilots win in a shutout to go 1-0 in the young season. Wow. Nice. The expansion Pilots are undefeated and have not given up a run yet this season. And Oakland beats the White Sox 6-5. Some tight games out there today. All right, let's see. In our game, Albert Pujols was player of the game, 4 for 5 with a home run. That big 3-run shot to take the lead in the ninth. 5 RBI, 2 runs. And he's the top number one performance of the day across the league, too. Bill Parsons gets the number 3 performance of the day for the Pilots. 9 innings pitched, shutout. Scatters 4 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. All right. Let's go ahead and save this, and then we'll wrap it up. Max, are you up and streaming? Let me take a look at my. You are still streaming? Okay, great. Now, when I started streaming, it was doing that. I don't know if you're around. It was doing that thing where it acts like I'm not logged in. If it's still doing that, here I can do a test. I can try to open a pack. If it lets me open the pack, then it thinks I'm logged in. All right, let's see. Fingers crossed. Nope. Let me try it from my phone. Some other people said, try it from your I'm sorry, I'm not trying to do a voice to mock them. I'm just so no, try it from your app. Might work. It has not worked before, but I'm gonna try it again. I'm all for trying. All right, let me try to claim some of these packs. Drop claim has failed. Please try again. Let me try a different claim. No, this is the behavior when it thinks I'm not logged in. So I'm a little worried that it's not going to let me raid because when it's in this glitchy mode, it doesn't let me save any changes. It does save the VOD, does let me stream, but for example, it doesn't let me change the title of the episode. The other thing I did is I logged in on Firefox too. So let me try in Firefox. These are all experiments that I set up because this happens from time to time. I have no indications when. I never know how to get out of it. So I'm trying a few different things here to try to figure out what's going on and maybe resolve it. Let's see if I can claim any packs from. So the drops Even with glitch mode, it will let me collect drops, but not claim them. I'm trying to claim one now from Firefox this time. Nope. All right, let me go back and let's still try to. I'm still going to see if it'll let me raid. Slash raid. Now the little raid pop-up shows up. It tells me what to type in. So it's still acting normal, but this does this all the time. Max LP 80 and nothing. Let me try again. Raid max LP. I'll try to do it as if it's case sensitive this time. No. And one time, Cheeky suggested I type that into the OBS chat window. One time it worked, then two other times it didn't work. But we'll try it again. Raid max LP. Well, now it's not, the letters I typed are not showing up. Now it's just kind of frozen. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying right now, Max. Trying the command in the OBS chat. Previously, I was doing it in the Twitch chat in Chrome and the Twitch chat in Firefox. Now I'm trying it in OBS, but my typing in OBS chat has frozen. This clearly not a Twitch problem, a more of a franchise time machine problem, but I mean, it sounds like it's still streaming. Hopefully, it's still recording, but now I can't type anything in chat. Can I move the chat window? I sure can. Can I scroll up and down the chat window? No, I cannot. That's weird. Can I change screens in OBS? I can. Oh, there you go. All right, hold on. All right, it's starting to respond again. Slash raid max. No, even when it let me type it in. So I type the slash and the pop-up shows up to help me. And I start typing raid and the raid thing shows up. And it says to add the channel, which I do. Have I tried Stream Manager? I have not, Max. I'll try that next. Now I'm going to try it as if it's case sensitive, which it's not, but I'm going to try it anyway. No, okay. Go to Stream Manager. The thing is, when it's glitching like this, match, if I go to Stream Manager, like within Stream Manager, it won't even let me like update the name of the next stream. But all right, let's try it in here. Slash raid. Hey Max, do you happen to know how long I was muted during that during that play-by-play? Max LP 80. The whole game? Are you serious? Oh man, that's both terrible and amazing. I was having a great time. It's not letting me do it. That was a good call though, because there is a chat window here in Stream Manager. Um, oh, I got a follow from Lcats Gaming. Thank you, Lcats, if you're still on. All right, I'm gonna do the I'll go around the horn and try rating in every one of these windows again. So we'll go back to Firefox first. See, like in Twitch, well, hold on, I'm gonna do what I can to get you the raid, Max. I know no way of ending the glitch. I know not what causes the glitch. Look on the results are very encouraging. We'll just make it sound like they've reported it to Twitch and nothing happens, and then it just either resolves itself or it doesn't. Let's try it. Okay, I'm going to try it in the chat in Firefox first. No, it lets me type it. The little pop-up helper comes up, but nothing happens. All right, let's go to Chrome, which is my default. Let me try the pack claim test. Nope, still not letting me claim packs. That's a sure sign that it's in glitch mode. Oh man. So I so I stream play by play of a whole game on mute, and now I can't raid anybody. This is quite a fitting stream for the Ezra Denny have a good vacation stream. All right, I gotta open my channel. Is it gonna let me do that? Twitch being Twitch. People say, but has this happened to you, Max? People definitely tell that's talked to many people this has happened to. Like I can't even update the episode name. It won't let me save it because it acts like I'm not logged in. Oh, now my mic is cutting out. While Twitch is figuring that out in Chrome, let me type it into the OBS chat window again. Max versus D-Block in round 3. Oh, what tournament is that? I want to get there and watch it. I would like to take these viewers with me, but oh man, come on, Twitch. All right, I've tried. Actually, what if I do it from my phone? The chat window in my phone. Can I log into my own stream? Yes, I can. Now, if I type /raid. Can I log to my own stream? Yes, oh, hold on. Let me turn the volume of my phone down, though. There we go. This is so ridiculous. Okay, on my phone, at least I get something. It says the action cannot be completed. Try again later. All right. I'm sorry, Max. I am really trying here. This action cannot be completed. Please try again later. All right, y'all. Looks like I'm gonna have to end the stream, unfortunately, without raiding into Max LP80. But um, y'all can go find Max LP. Can I do? Can I do shout out? Does shout out work? Shout out doesn't even work. Man, it literally thinks I'm not on here. I'm gonna try it from the Chrome window. No, let's try it from my phone. Slash shout out XLP80. Action cannot be complete. Please try again later. Restart OBS. I can try restart OBS. Actually, once I shut down OBS, I can also try it in these chat windows again. All right. Well, this is well. No, wait. If I shut down OBS, it's obviously going to close my stream. Won't that end my stream? Because OBS is where I started the stream by pressing this little start stream button. I can reconnect. Okay, let's do this. It's an experiment. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to open it back up real quick and see if it reconnects. If it doesn't work, y'all have a good night, and y'all go please search Max LP80 and watch him take on D Block in round 3 of some tournament they're in.